Number 5, Anthony Volpe. Now, fair or not, Brian Cashman has put a lot of pressure on this kid to be the next Jeter. And I know in a recent press conference, Anthony Volpe said there will never be another Jeter. The amount of pressure that Brian Cashman has put on him, and the pressure would be coming from the fact that A, he could have signed 5 of the top 10 shortstops in baseball and said no because of Anthony Volpe. When you're looking at it in that way, the fan base is going to put that pressure on him. And although I disagree with it, I understand it. Because, again, you're going to start comparing. We could have had Xander Bogaerts. What's Xander Bogaerts doing? What's Anthony Volpe doing? And if Anthony Volpe gets the starting spot, he will have a fuck ton of pressure on him. So that's why he is number 5. Number 4, Josh Donaldson. Josh Donaldson could be on a fast track out of here. This could be his last rodeo. He's 39 years old. He's on a large-ass contract. This could be his last chance to be a productive player in the major leagues. If he starts off slow, we have guys in our now farm system that are coming up, like Volpe, like Peraza, Cabrera. DJ LeMahieu is healthy. He can play third. We've got options now at third base, and there is no need for Donaldson. Again, the Yankees barely wanted Donaldson in the first place. For some reason, they took on his contract to get IKF. Remember that. So, that's why Josh Donaldson is number 4 on the list. Number 3, Aaron Hicks. Now, Aaron Hicks is another player on a huge fast track out of here. His bat has deteriorated to a point that it's hard to watch. His motion is so slow, especially from the right side. Even on the left side, it looks terrible, right? His swing is very much like if he can't get everything moving in the right spot at the right time, he is fucked at the plate. Again, we have these prospects that are coming up that can easily take his spot. Guys like Everson Pereira. Guys like Oswaldo Cabrera. Guys like Jason Dominguez is in spring training. If anything, they can bring him up at the age of 20 if they really needed to. That's how dire this situation is with Aaron Hicks. And if he gets that spot and he doesn't start off well, he will probably be traded to Oakland for another failed starter, because the Yankees aren't going to deal with this shit any longer. Number 2 on the list. This is probably the most controversial one, and one that I don't agree with, but the front office is doing it. Gleyber Torres. Gleyber Torres probably has the most pressure on him from the front office. There has now been multiple reports that he was about to be traded. One in the offseason, one at the trade deadline. We were at the 1-yard line with trading him for Pablo Lopez. I don't understand what we're doing in terms of trying to get rid of Gleyber Torres. He's coming off of his best year since 2019. And I get you're trying to sell high, but I've said this in multiple videos. When you make it obvious you're trying to sell high, it brings his value back down. When you're selling high, it's more of a teams are begging you for them. Not, oh, he's playing well, so I'm going to beg other teams. That's just not how it works. And the Yankees just seem set on trading Gleyber Torres for whatever they can get for him. And I could understand it from the standpoint of they think Oswald and Anthony could be the dynamic duo of the future. If Volpe and Peraza are in your middle infield, which would most likely turn into Volpe at second, Peraza at third. If that's your infield, it sounds sexy, right? That's a sexy ring to it. Like your 2 rookies being your dynamic duo, turning into the Robinson Cano and Derek Jeter of now the 2020s. It sounds appealing, but don't forget the power that Gleyber Torres has, and he's only turning 25. Can everyone just remember that? He's only turning 25. So let's just calm it down with these trade talks with him. If he starts off slow this year, I could understand it if you wanted to throw a Volpe in there. If he starts having a great year and we get rid of him, this could be a problem, because I don't know. I just don't know about it. But in terms of what the front office is looking for Gleyber Torres, he's going to have to exceed 2019 numbers in order for them to want to keep him. And I just don't see that happening. So that's why he has the second most pressure on him on the team. And coming in at number 1, and this may come as a bit of a shock, Gerrit Cole. Isn't it crazy to think this is the 3rd year of Gerrit Cole's contract? It's crazy to me. And one reason why it's crazy is because during his tenure here, which is 2020 to 2022, this contract has not gone well, right? Like, am I crazy for thinking that? This contract has not gone as swimmingly as we thought. We thought we were getting the Astros Gerrit Cole that was in Cy Young conversations every year. And once he came to the Bronx, we realized he has a home run issue, and at times his fastball could be flat. And when his fastball is flat, that thing gets hit a mile away by guys like Josh Naylor. Like, what the fuck? Like, he's had years here where we're looking at him and he may not have been the ace. Last year, Nestor Cortez for a lot of the year was arguably our best pitcher. And usually your ace is your best pitcher. So this is a make or break year in terms of how this contract is going to be remembered by Yankee fans for Gerrit Cole. If he cannot find his shit, and look, he's never been terrible, right? And that's the good thing about it, is he's never been terrible. He's never been outside of being a top 10-ish pitcher in the league. And I get now we're building a super deep rotation. So he may not have to carry as big of a load as he had to maybe 1 or 2 years ago. But if he wants the Yankees fans to remember him fondly as a guy that we could count on, this is your year. Because these past couple years, we're looking at you like, where's our ace? There are times where we needed him most, and he did not come through. This has to be a year that, and I don't want to say, like, he has to be in, like, the Cy Young leading role, but for a lot of this year, he has to be in the race, right? He has to put on a performance that is almost like a Sabathia year, like prime Sabathia. Prime Sabathia was always in Cy Young conversations. Didn't always get to the top 3, but top 5, top 7, he was always a prime candidate to do that. Gerrit Cole has to do that this year for us to think we have an ace in this $300 million man. Because if we don't, then look, we have Rodon now, which is great, and we're going to pair him with Nestor, Sevy, and we just found out that Frankie Montas is coming back for the second half most likely because they didn't have to cut into his rotator cuff. So that's great news. Like, the surgery went best case scenario. And I still stand by what I said in my video. But anyways, that's my top 5. Let me know in the comments. What do you think? Do you have any other players? And I know you might have like a guy like IKF on here, but I don't think he's going to get that starting role. So there's not going to be much pressure on him anyway. If he does get the starting role, there is a ton of pressure. He'd probably be number 1 on the list. But in terms of like players that need a great year this year, those are my 5. What are your 5? Let me know down below. Subscribe if you're new. Watch my latest video. And I'll see you guys next time. Peace.